Kreutzer was a French composer of the late classical period, which is from the 1750s to the 1820s, but he was also considered more romantic than classical, which is from the 1820s to the 1900s. He studied violin with his father when he was young, and he later studied with Stamitz at the age of 11, and 2 years later he was playing one of Stamitz's concertos and he was declared a prodigy. He later studied in the Paris Conservatorium, and he later also became a professor there. He was also known as a virtuoso or violinist. Kreutzer's compositions include operas, more than 40 of them, and one of them is Jeanne d'Arc and Paul et Virginie. It sounds very posh, right? Paul et Virginie. He also composed violin sonatas and violin concertos and lots of chamber music and the 42 etudes and caprices for violin solo. He also composed some sinfonia concertos, which is for, 2 instruments. I'm a bit sick. Some of Kreutzer's contemporaries include Viotti, Rode, Paganini, the devil of violin, Mozart, he's in the classical period, and Beethoven, like beetroot. Well, Beethoven actually composed a sonata for Kreutzer to play, but he actually didn't play it, so that really sucks. Well, Kreutzer, he was from the classical period, even though he was considered more romantic, and since I've already told you that, yeah. So the classical period, normally the classical period has short and balanced phrases and modulations between closely related keys. The music was usually very light and elegant. There was also lots of broken chords and scales, and there was lots of homophonic texture, which is a single melody over a chordal accompaniment. There was also lots of ornamentation, which means trills, like and mordents and turns, like lots of that stuff in the classical period. In the Romantic period, which is where he was considered from, there was included a lot of virtuosity, and that means like being really expressive, and it should be performed with a sense of spontaneity, which means suddenness and deep personal involvement. As you can see, if you search someone up on YouTube that's really expressive, you just see them going, oh, and then it's just really expressive. So that's being virtuosic. Usually the texture is actually thicker than the classical period because there are wider chords, there are larger chords, there's a wider range of notes across the keyboard or the violin, and there's a wider range of dynamics and many things. You know why an etude was even composed? Well, in this case, I'm playing an etude, and etudes are a composition that's designed to improve a particular aspect of playing, and it's supposed to train you on like a particular technique. So then they were actually invented because of the Romantic period, because lots of the songs in the Romantic period were really hard, so people would compose lots of these etudes and studies, and that's why Kreutzer composed so many, like 42. And that's why they would compose them, so it would train your fingers, so it's easier to play those romantic musics. Etude I'm playing is the etude number 1 in C minor. Well,
number 1.
Whoops. Etude number 31 in C minor. Whoopsie daisies. And this study is designed to improve your trills, like moving your fingers up and down. Some very suspicious noises up there. Well, anyway, there's lots of trills, and that's what you need to work on in there. And you need lots of shifting in there. It's very hard. There's double stops, double octaves, and as I said, there's a lot of shifting. It's really hard.
Can you show us the original music?
Oh,
original
this
copy.
is a new copy. Okay, so you should see. Dun, dun, dun. Look how messy it is, okay? And some of the very hard things is emphasis on the syncopated beat. It's like this bit, da da da, da 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 da. Most of the time you go, huh, 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 huh. Pretend this is the beat. Normally you go, you would play 1, 2, 3, 4, but in this case it's play, play, play. So that's really hard. And you have to emphasis on it. An accent. Can you believe it? Stop. Now I'm going to explain to you the key changes of this piece. Well, I need to tell you the form first. This is a loose turning form with a coda, which is ABA coda. So from here to here is the A section, the first A section, which is in C minor. The B section starts here and it ends over here, which is in E flat major. From here to here is the A section once again, but the A section, that's why it's called a loose turning form. The A section is slightly a bit different from the first A section, and this time it's in G minor instead of C minor. And the coda starts here and ends here, and it's in C minor once again. So it starts with C minor, ends with C minor.